like a Hellcat.
Hello and welcome back to the channel where once again it's time for another issue of Warhammer 40,000 Combat Patrol. This time we've got issue 5, which comes with the brand new Space Marine Sergeant as well as 6 dice. Now in my opinion, without a doubt, this is the worst issue so far in terms of monetary value, because one single Space Marine for me doesn't have much physical value, maybe £5 or so, and then it's £10 an issue, so you can make up your own minds on whether you think that is good value for money. Anyway, turning the page, we go straight into how to build the Space Marine Sergeant. As always, it's broken down step by step. Turning over the page, goes into more details, obviously showing you what he's finished like when he's fully built. Then we go into base coating with the painting techniques. Turning over, carries on showing us how to apply the base coats for the Space Marine. Then on to how to paint the Space Marine using some of the colours that you picked up so far in the collection. Over the page then we see some more painting techniques for some of the other Space Marines and some of the other Tyrannid models so far in the collection. Over the page we have what our work in progress models look like with the colours as they've instructed you to colour them in. Paint them in, I should say. Now obviously these paint schemes are specifically for this style of model. You can obviously choose how you want to paint them. My Tyrannids that I've started painting so far aren't using these colours. They are similar, but you know, I thought I'd be a bit more adventurous myself this time around with the collection. Over the page we've got the Imperial Tithe. We've got some reading material there. Before turning over, we have a little bit of reading material on the black ships before we go over the page to some information about our Infernus Marine Sergeant, the Red Helm, the Mighty have no room for doubt, and then a little bit of information on using your new Infernus Marine Sergeant. Over the page, it says Sergeants anchor the Space Marine line of battle through skilled interpretation of their captain's commands and personal acts of valor that inspire their battle brothers to fight harder. And that is just another name generator. As we've seen, we seem to be getting a lot of these in every issue. Before we go into the play section, Flames of Purification. Over the page then it shows us the breakdown for the scenario number 1, Flames of Purification, before we go on to turn breakdown. Over the page gives you examples for turn 1, turn 2, as it always does. I always tend to think these mission outlines are pretty good. They're pretty informative and they're pretty straightforward to follow as well. Over the page then, it shows you a Space Marine victory or a Tyrannid's victory before we go on to dice and modifiers on the next page, and also using rerolls. Last page of the book then is modifiers shown there, such as armor piercing effects and modifying characteristics at the bottom, before we turn on to the very last page, which shows us that next issue, in issue 6, we get 5 barb gaunts. Issue 7 and issue 8 have 10 of those little models. I'm trying to find their name. Is it Termagaunts, I think that they're called? So I'm assuming we'll probably get 5 in each issue. I'm not sure how the sprues are broken down, in all fairness. But the issue next week does look quite good. Those barb gaunts look pretty impressive. And then we'll obviously build the collection from there. Obviously, the Fauxhammer website, I think that's how you say it, has released the contents for issues 5 to 20 on there. And so it is Tyrannids and Space Marines all the way up to the end of issue 20, with a lot of those issues actually being paint issues. So I wasn't particularly excited about that, if I'm perfectly honest, but it is what it is. I think the most exciting models pretty much come right at the end. 18, 19, and 20, you get the Space Marine Chaplain on the bike, and 2 quite powerful looking Tyrannid models as well. I can't remember the names off the top of my head, but I think the later issues from 1 to 20 do look to be slightly more exciting than I think some of these earlier issues. Anyway, that is it today. A brief overview of what is in issue 5. Let me know your thoughts down below on whether you think a single Space Marine, does it have that sort of like £10 worth of value in it? Because the magazine itself isn't really worth anything. It's not a very good quality magazine. It literally falls apart when you start turning the pages. So for me, this issue is not a particularly good one in terms of value for money. That is all for today. Thank you for watching, and like always, I'll be back in the near future with some more Combat Patrol. Goodbye for now.